welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something a little different.
A little bit.
Usually, we're tearing apart a business trend or a historical event or maybe a new piece of technology.
Right, the big picture stuff.
Exactly. But today, we are zooming in on something. Well, something microscopic. We're looking at the architecture of a sentence.
It sounds small when you put it that way, the architecture of a sentence.
It does, doesn't it?
But honestly, this is probably one of the most high-impact deep dives we've ever done.
Oh, wow.
Because we aren't just talking about grammar. I mean, we are, but we aren't just talking about where to put a comma. We are talking about how to sound like a thinking, rational adult in a second language.
That's a huge claim.
It's a game changer.
Okay, I'm hooked. The source we're diving into today is a specific slice of an English fluency course. It's called Linking Your Thoughts. Specifically, we're looking at day 33.
Day 33.
The title of the session is Logical Connectors for Clear English Flow. But I think there's a better title, and it's the one we're going to use today as our North Star. Let's hear it.
From stones to rivers.
From stones to rivers.
Yeah.
Okay, that is such a vivid image.
Isn't it?
And it really, really captures the frustration that so many language learners feel. You know, you have the words, you have the vocabulary, but when you speak, it just feels clunky, it feels heavy.
It feels like work for you and for the listener. And today, our mission is to fix that. We're going to unpack 3 specific words, what the source material calls the big 3 connectors, that it claims can change your entire identity as a speaker.
I believe it.
But before we get into the big 3, I want to start with a little challenge.
Okay.
The source calls it the 3-sentence challenge.
The 3-sentence challenge. I like it.
Yes, this is right at the top of the source material, and it hooked me immediately. I want to present this to you and to our listener, not as a grammar test, but as a vibe check.
A vibe check, okay.
I just want you to listen to these 3 options and tell me how they make you feel about the speaker.
All right, lay them on me.
Option 1. It was raining. I stood inside. Okay. So, grammatically, it's fine. It's correct.
Totally correct.
But emotionally, it feels robotic. It feels like a toddler pointing at things. Ball is red, sky is blue, rain is wet.
Yeah.
There's just no life in it, no connection.
It's a very statement of fact delivery.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try option 2. It was raining and I stayed inside.
A little better. I mean, you've used and, so you've technically connected the 2 ideas.
You've put a piece of tape between them?
A weak piece of tape, yeah. It's a very weak glue. It just tells me 2 things happened around the same time. It doesn't tell me why they are related. It's just a list.
It's a sequence of events, not a thought.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, option 3. And I want you to really listen closely to the shift here. I stayed inside because it was raining.
And there it is. That's the click. Do you feel that?
I do. It feels settled, complete.
It feels logical. All of a sudden, the universe makes sense. There is a cause, the rain, and there is an effect, staying inside.
Cause and effect.
The speaker isn't just a camera recording the weather anymore. The speaker is a logical human being making a decision based on their environment.
That is the power of a single word.
Yeah.
That one word, because, transformed a robot into a person.
Precisely. And that right there is the mission of this deep dive. We are moving past what the source calls the baby connectors, words like and or but.
The basics.
They're fine for survival, but day 33 is about graduation. It's about moving into logical connectors. These are the tools that make you sound smarter, more mature, and frankly, more persuasive.
I love that distinction. Baby connectors versus logical connectors. It really implies a maturation process.
It is a journey.
And speaking of that journey, we need to set the context for this source material. This isn't day 1. This is day 33. That means the learner has already been at this for over a month. They've shown up every single day.
That context is so crucial. If you actually look at the syllabus for the previous 32 days, it's staggering.
Staggering fencing.
Oh, everything. Greetings, telling time, family, giving directions, talking about emotions, basic office vocabulary, common idioms. The list just goes on and on.
So they have a massive inventory of bricks.
A huge pile of bricks. They can name every object in the room. They can verb every noun. But a pile of bricks is not a house. And this is what linguists often call the intermediate plateau.
It's a plateau, right.
Well,
heard of this.
It's that frustrating place where you know enough words to survive. You can order food, you can book a hotel, you can tell someone you're angry, but you can't really explain yourself. You can't build an argument. You feel stuck.
And that's where this stones versus rivers metaphor comes crashing in. The source material quotes the instructor, Jay's, saying, "Now we make your sentences flow like a river instead of a list of separate stones."
Such a great metaphor.
Let's dig into that imagery. Why stones? What does that feel like to you?
Well, think about the physical act of walking on stepping stones across a creek.
You have to look down. You have to focus on every single step. Hop, balance, stop, hop, balance, stop. It requires so much cognitive effort.
It's physically tiring. You can't just stroll across.
Exactly. Now transfer that to listening. When a speaker gives you these choppy, short sentences, "I went to the store, it was closed, I came home," your brain as the listener has to stop at every period. You have to reboot your attention span every 3 seconds. It is what we call cognitive friction.
So speaking in stones isn't just bad for you as the speaker. It's actually rude to your listener.
It is.
You're making them do all the work.
It is. It's exhausting to listen to. But a river has a current. It has a direction. When you use logical connectors, you are essentially building a raft for your listener. You are saying, get on the raft, sit back, and let my syntax carry you from the beginning of my thought all the way to the end.
That is such a hospitable way to think about grammar. I've never thought of it like that. It's not about following rules to pass a test. It's about creating a smooth, pleasant ride for the person you're talking to.
It's empathy. I'm telling you, good grammar is actually a form of empathy.
Wow.
You are connecting the dots for the other person so they don't have to. You're doing the heavy lifting for them.
So let's build this raft. The source material gives us the big 3 logs to build our raft. We have because, so, and therefore.
The why, the result, and the authority.
Ooh, I like that framing. The why, the result, and the authority. Let's start with the first one, the why connector. Let's unpack because.
This is the backward-looking connector. It's the rear-view mirror of language.
The rear view mirror. Explain that.
Okay, so you state a fact, a main clause, and then you use because to look back in time to explain what caused it. The source gives us a very specific structure. Main clause plus because plus reason clause.
Let's use our original example.
I stayed inside because it was raining. The main clause is I stayed inside.
That's the core fact.
Then the connector because. Then the reason it was raining. You're looking backward from your current state being inside to explain the history of that state.
It seems so simple when you lay it out like that. It's a fundamental building block.
Yeah.
But the source material highlights some nuances here that I think even advanced learners sometimes miss.
Oh, for sure.
Specifically, this spoken versus written rule.
Yes. This is fascinating. In spoken English, because almost always sits comfortably in the middle of the sentence, I'm tired because I slept late. I'm happy because it's Friday. It just flows. It's the river.
It's natural.
But in writing, and especially in more formal writing, you can flip it. You can put because right at the front.
Because I slept late, I am tired.
Right. Now, just say that out loud. Do you hear the difference in tone?
It sounds dramatic. It sounds like the opening line of a novel or something, or a legal argument.
It puts a massive spotlight on the reason.
Because I slept late. You can almost hear the dramatic pause. I am tired. It creates suspense.
Right.
But if you do that in a casual conversation at Starbucks, because I want coffee, I am here.
You just sound like a supervillain. Or at the very least, just really intense. Extremely intense. So the advice from the source is solid. For most of your spoken English, keep because in the middle. It's safer, it's smoother, and it keeps that river flowing without any weird eddies.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, we have to talk about the pitfall. The source material waves a big red flag here. There is a specific mistake that learners make with because that just instantly kills their fluency.
Ah, yes. The phantom verb problem.
I stayed inside because it's raining.
Ooh, I flinched. Did you see me physically flinch?
I did. It sounds like nails on a chalkboard to a native speaker.
Yeah.
But let's be empathetic here. Why is it so common? Because logically, in your head, because plus rain equals wet, the concepts connect.
The concepts are sound, but it violates the deep structural rules of English. English is obsessed with verbs. It is addicted to them. You cannot have a clause without a finite verb.
And raining isn't a finite verb.
Nope. Raining is a participle. It's just floating there in space. It needs an anchor. It needs was or is or some form of the verb to be to hold it down.
So the learner is thinking in shortcuts. They're just connecting the main ideas. Because rain.
Exactly. It's likely interference from their native language. In many languages, you don't need that auxiliary to be verb. You can just say the equivalent of because rain. But in English, if you drop the was, You've just created a massive pothole in the river.
And the listener stumbles.
Their brain stumbles. They have to mentally insert the was to understand you. And there it is again.
You're making the listener do the work.
You're making them fix your sentence for you.
Okay.
So the rule is, and this is non-negotiable, because must be followed by a full sentence, subject plus verb, because it was raining, because the bus was late.
Drill that into your head. Because triggers a full sentence.
Every single time.
I want to touch on the examples used in the source text here for a minute, because they aren't just dry textbook sentences. They have a bit of flavor, a bit of personality.
Yeah, they're good.
Like this one. I love winter in Shimla because the snow looks magical.
That is a lovely sentence. And it does two things. One, it teaches the grammar, obviously. But two, it evokes a specific, memorable image. Shimla. Magical snow. This is so important for memory. If you just learn, I like X because Y, your brain doesn't hold on to it. It's too abstract.
But Shimla and snow.
That sticks. You create a little picture in your head, and the grammar rule gets attached to that picture.
And then there's my favorite, the most relatable sentence in the entire course.
I think I know which one you mean.
We ordered momos because they are cheaper than pizza.
The universal logic of the budget, it's poetry.
It grounds the grammar in everyday reality. We make tiny economic decisions like this all day long. Why did you buy this brand? Because it was on sale. Why momos? Because cheaper. It shows that these connectors aren't just for passing a test. They're tools for explaining your life.
It also highlights that logic is universal. The context might be local, but the structure is global. Whether you are in New Delhi ordering momos or in New York ordering a slice, the logical structure choice freeze. Because reason is identical.
So because is our backward-looking tool, our rear-view mirror. It explains the past.
Yep.
Now let's pivot. Let's look forward. Let's talk about so.
The result connector.
If because is the rear-view mirror, what is so? What's the car part metaphor?
So is the windshield. You're looking at the road ahead. You are looking at the consequences, at what's coming next.
The source calls this a cognitive shift.
I like that.
It is a total cognitive shift. With because, you are reactive. You're explaining something that already happened. With so, you are proactive. You are driving the story to the next beat. The structure completely flips.
Okay, what's the formula?
It's reason plus comma plus so plus result.
So the reason comes first now. Let's take those same rain examples and flip them. The original was, I stayed inside because it was raining.
Okay, so flip it.
It was raining, so I stayed inside.
See? Same facts. Totally different energy.
Let's do the others. The bus was delayed, so she was late.
Yep.
The weather was bad, so we couldn't go trekking. Notice how these sentences propel you forward. They create a little bit of narrative momentum. It was raining. Okay, and then what? What happened next? So I stayed inside. It answers the question, and then what?
The source material has a section I'm calling the showdown. It explicitly puts because and so in the ring together, using the same scenario.
The ultimate battle.
Right. The scenario is rain and staying inside. Why would I choose one over the other? If the facts are exactly the same, does it even matter?
Oh, it matters immensely. It's all about the spotlight. Imagine you are on a stage, you have one spotlight. Where do you point it?
Okay.
If you say, I stayed inside because it was raining, where is the spotlight? What's the most important part of that sentence?
It feels like it's on the rain. It's on the reason.
Right. You are justifying your action. The subtext is, don't blame me for being antisocial, blame the rain. The rain is the star of the show.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now flip it. If you say, it was raining, so I stayed inside, where is the spotlight now?
It feels like it's on the result, on the fact that I'm inside.
Yeah.
The rain feels more like background information.
Exactly. The rain is just the setup. The point of the sentence is your location. So if your boss asks, why aren't you at the office picnic? You use because. You need to provide the excuse. Because it's raining.
Right.
But if you are just telling a friend about your boring Sunday, you use, so it was raining, so I just binged Netflix all day. The point isn't the rain. The point is the Netflix.
That is such a crucial distinction. It's about narrative control.
Yeah.
As the speaker, you get to decide what the listener focuses on.
That's fluency. That is what real fluency is. It isn't just being grammatically correct. It's being in control of the listener's attention. It's making them see what you want them to see.
Wow. Okay, now I want to geek out for a second on something small. Punctuation.
Let's do it.
The source specifically mentions the comma with so. It was raining, comma, so I stayed inside. Now we are speaking, not writing. Does that comma actually matter?
I would argue it matters more in speech than in writing.
How so? You can't see a comma when I speak.
No, but you can hear it. Punctuation is essentially sheet music for the voice. A period is a full stop. A comma is a quarter rest. It's a breath, a tiny, tiny pause.
Okay.
Try saying it without the comma. Just mush it all together. It was raining. I stayed inside.
It sounds rushed. It sounds anxious
It
almost.
sounds like you're in a hurry. Now put the breath in. It was raining. Pause. So I stayed inside.
It feels more deliberate.
That split second of silence allows the listener to process the first half of the sentence. The reason, before you hit them with the second half, the result. It creates a rhythm. It lets the logic land properly.
It's the heartbeat of the sentence.
It is. If you rush the says, you trip the listener. They have to backtrack mentally. The comma is the pause that shows respect for your listener's brain.
Okay, so we have the reason because, looking back, we have the result. So, looking forward.
We're making progress.
Now we have to put on a suit. We have to straighten our tie. We are moving to the third and final connector for today,
Therefore,
the authority connector.
the source defines therefore as the formal, written, or serious equivalent of so. But I think it's more than just a synonym. It changes the temperature of the room.
It definitely cools things down.
Oh, yeah.
So feels warm and casual like a chat, therefore feels cold and precise like a laboratory.
It's the language of logic, of law, of science. It signals to the listener, I am not giving you my opinion. I am about to make a deduction that is undeniable.
The structure is different too. It's heavier than the others.
Much heavier.
It's reason, full stop, therefore, comma, result. It's not just one sentence anymore. It's two distinct sentences bridged by this massive formal word.
Let's look at the example from the source. The roads were blocked by snow, therefore the school declared a holiday.
Say that again. Just listen to the weight of that.
Therefore the school declared a holiday. It sounds like a royal decree. It sounds final.
If you said, the roads were blocked, so school is closed, what does that sound like?
It sounds like a text message from a student. Yay, snow day. It's just information.
But therefore makes it sound official. Like this was a decision made in a boardroom after careful consideration. The decision has been made.
It's a statement of official fact. And here's the business example, and this is absolute gold for anyone working in a corporate job.
I'm ready.
We didn't receive the payment on time, therefore the delivery was delayed.
I love this sentence. It's so powerful and so useful.
It's a shield.
A shield. Unpack that. What do you mean?
Imagine if Aman, the guy writing the email and the source material, said, we didn't get the money, so we didn't send the stuff. How does that sound to you?
It sounds a bit petty. It sounds like a tit for tat. You did this, so I did that. It sounds personal and a little childish.
Exactly. It sounds like a grudge. It invites an emotional response. But look at the therefore version. Payment was not received, therefore delivery was delayed.
It's completely different.
It removes a man from the equation entirely. It removes all emotion. It simply says, this isn't my choice. This is just cause and effect. This is physics. This is the inevitable consequence of your action, not my emotional reaction to it.
It depersonalizes the conflict. That is brilliant. You can use grammar to protect yourself from an angry client.
Absolutely. Therefore, implies that the result was inevitable. It wasn't a decision, it was a consequence. There's no one to be angry at. It's just logic.
So here's a question. Can we use therefore in speech? Or is it strictly for emails and contracts and scientific papers?
You can use it in speech, but you have to be very, very careful about the context. If you use it for small, everyday things, you sound incredibly arrogant.
Give me an example.
I was hungry, therefore I ate a sandwich.
You sound like Sherlock Holmes explaining a clue. Or a robot. Energy levels low, therefore consume nutrients.
Right. It creates way too much distance for a friendly chat. It's overkill. But there are moments in speech where you want that distance. You want that authority.
Okay,
Yeah.
like when?
Imagine you are in a serious negotiation. Let's say a salary raise.
Okay, I'm listening.
You could say, I worked really hard this year, so I think I deserve more money.
How does that sound?
It sounds a bit whining. It sounds like you're asking for a favor.
It sounds like a child asking for allowance.
Ah,
I was good, so give me a treat.
perfect analogy. Now try this version. I have exceeded my sales targets for 3 consecutive quarters. Therefore, I believe a salary adjustment is warranted.
Whoa. Okay. That feels completely different. Where do I sign?
Right. You aren't asking, you are stating a logical conclusion. You're saying X is true, therefore Y must happen. You are daring them to disagree with the logic, not with your feelings or your personal worth.
That is a total power move. So to sum it up, so is for social connection. Therefore is for professional leverage.
That's a perfect way to categorize them. So brings people closer, therefore establishes a respectful, logical distance.
Okay, we got the theory down. We are 3 tools. Because, so therefore. The why, the result, the authority. Now let's see them in action. The source material provides some real dialogues. I think we should act these out to really hear the rhythm, to hear that river we've been talking about.
Let's do it. Context is everything.
Okay, scenario 1. The casual conversation. This is the friend chat. I'll be the friend asking the questions. You be the person who stayed home.
Ray.
Hey, why didn't you come to the cafe yesterday? We missed you.
Oh, man. Because it was just raining cats and dogs all afternoon.
Oh, that makes sense. It was coming down hard, so you just stayed home then.
Yeah, exactly. So I just watched a movie and drank about a gallon of hot tea.
Okay, let's look at the mechanics there. What just happened?
It was a tennis match. It was a perfect rally.
How so?
You served with a why. I've returned your serve with a because. You volleyed back with a so. And I smashed it home with another so. The ball kept moving. The conversation flowed.
And notice the source used that great idiom, raining cats and dogs.
It's good to sprinkle those in. It adds color. But imagine for a second if I had just answered with stones.
Okay, let's try it. Why didn't you come?
Rain.
So you stayed home.
Yes. Movie. Tea.
It's painful. It's awkward. The conversation just dies on the vine.
The connectors, because and so, acted as the glue. They allowed us to share an experience, not just exchange data points. It turned a Q&A into a real relationship-building moment.
Okay, now let's switch gears completely. Scenario 2. The office email. This is from Aman. He's clearly having a bad day with the server.
Poor Aman. Let's read his email. I think this is so instructive.
Okay, I'll read it. Dear team, the server was down for 2 hours this morning. Therefore, we couldn't complete the data entry on time. Please let me know if you have any questions. Best regards, Aman.
It's flawless. It's a perfect professional communication.
Why is it so perfect?
Look at that sentence structure again. The server was down, therefore we couldn't complete data entry. He states the objective fact first. The server was down. No emotion, no blame, just a fact. Then, therefore. The logical bridge. The shield. And then the bad news. Couldn't complete the work. He doesn't apologize excessively. He doesn't blame the IT guy. He just presents the inevitable logic of the situation.
It's professional. It totally protects his reputation. If he had said, because the server sucks, we didn't finish, he sounds unprofessional and whiny.
Right.
If he had said, we didn't finish, so sorry, guys, he sounds weak and takes all the blame.
Therefore is the perfect balance. It's the adult in the room word.
I love that. Therefore is the adult in the room. Okay, the source material has a section called Pause and Practice. This is the interactive part. I want to walk our listener through this because it really solidifies that identity shift we talked about.
This is the challenge where we take the same 2 ideas and link them 3 different ways.
Yep, the 2 ideas are
It snowed heavily.
schools were closed.
2 stones, let's make a river.
Okay, let's do it. And I want to analyze the tone of each version. Let's start with version number 1, using so.
It snowed heavily last night, so schools were closed today.
What's the vibe? Who is saying this?
This is informative. It's casual. This is one parent texting another, hey, snow day, so the kids are home. It's neutral information sharing.
Okay, that makes sense. Version number 2, using because.
Schools were closed today because it snowed heavily last night.
And the vibe on that one.
This one is explanatory. This is answering a question. Maybe a child asks, Mom, why is the school bus not coming? And you reply, because it snowed. The focus is squarely on the reason, on the snow.
Okay, now for the big one. Version number 3, using therefore.
There was heavy snowfall last night, therefore all schools remain closed today.
The vibe.
That's the news anchor, that's breaking news, or it's the automated voice message from the school district's central office. It signals authority. It signals that this is an official policy decision.
It's incredible, isn't it? The core facts never changed. The snow is the same. The school is just as closed. But the speaker's identity changed in each sentence.
Completely.
In the first one, you're a friend. In the second, a parent. And in the last one, you're an official.
And that is the mastery we are aiming for. It's not just knowing the words, it's knowing which hat to wear in which situation. Do you want to wear the friend hat?
Use so. Do you want to wear the boss hat? Use therefore.
We are nearing the end of the source material, and like any good lesson, it gives us a golden cheat sheet. Let's recap this for the listener who might be driving or working out and can't write this down.
Absolutely. If you take nothing else away from this entire hour, just try to memorize this.
Go for it.
Because the why, use it to look backward and explain the reason for something.
Okay.
So the result, use it to look forward and show what happened next to keep the story moving.
Got it.
Therefore, the boss, the authority, use it in formal or serious situations to show undeniable, inevitable logic.
Simple. Powerful. But the deep dive isn't over just because we know the definitions. The source material assigns homework, and honestly, this homework is pretty rigorous.
It is. This isn't your typical fill-in-the-blank worksheet. This is active creation.
Let's break it down. Assignment 1. Write 30 sentences. That's 10 pairs of ideas, connected 3 ways each, just like we did with the snow day.
Why 30? That sounds like a lot. It sounds like punishment.
It's not punishment, it's repetition. It's muscle memory.
It's neuroplasticity. You are literally carving new pathways in your brain. You need to physically write the comma. You need to physically write the full stop before therefore. You need to see that pattern on the page enough times that your hand starts to remember it without you thinking.
Assignment 2. The audio challenge. Record 90 to 120 seconds describing your day using at least 5 connectors.
This is my favorite assignment, and it's also the one that most learners will try to skip.
Why? Why do we hate recording ourselves so much?
Because the gap between what we think we sound like in our heads and what we actually sound like on a recording is terrifying. We think we are flowing rivers. The recording reveals that we are actually a pile of choppy stones.
But that revelation is necessary for growth.
Yeah.
Right.
It's critical. When you are speaking in real time, you are in survival mode. Your brain is just trying to find the next word. You don't have the mental bandwidth to critique yourself.
Not on the recording.
When you listen to the recording, you switch into teacher mode. You can hear the awkward silences. You can hear all the ums. You can hear that spot where you should have used so, but you just stopped and started a new clunky sentence.
That self-correction is where the real learning happens. It's not in the textbook. It's in the playback.
And notice the prompt. Describe your day. It's so simple, but it's brilliant.
Why?
Because if you try to describe your day and you don't use connectors, what does it sound like?
I woke up, I brushed my teeth, I ate toast, I drove to work.
You sound like a suspect in a police interrogation. Just the facts, ma'am.
Right.
To fill 120 seconds and sound like an interesting human being, you have to weave a narrative. I woke up late because my alarm broke, so I had to skip breakfast. Therefore, I was starving by 10 a.m. See? Suddenly, you have a story. Connectors are the things that turn facts into stories.
I love that. Connectors turn facts into stories. Okay, assignment 3. Real-world application. Use them twice, just twice, in a real conversation or message today.
High stakes. Taking it out of the lab and into the wild. It forces you to find a natural opportunity.
And finally, assignment 4. Community engagement. Share one of your new sentences in the comments section of the course.
This seems trivial, it's just a YouTube comment, but it's actually about public accountability. When you see 50 other people struggling with the same because versus therefore distinction, you realize you aren't alone. You're part of a cohort.
And knowing someone might actually read your sentence makes you polish it just a little bit more.
It raises the bar for yourself.
So, that wraps up day 33, but the source gives us a little teaser, a look ahead to day 34.
Part 2 of connector words. We've done logic, cause, and effect. Next up is contrast and surprise.
Ooh, I like that. We're talking about words like although, however, even though, despite, in spite of, while, whereas.
Those are the spicy words. They add drama.
How do those fit into our river analogy?
Well, if because and so are the main current of the river flowing logically downstream, smooth, predictable, then however and although are the sharp bends in the river, they are the unexpected twists.
I'm following you.
I wanted to go out. The river is flowing one way toward the door.
Okay.
However, it was raining. The river snaps back the other way toward the couch. It's a reversal.
That requires even more boat control, more skill as a speaker.
It does. You have to be a better captain to handle those twists. And that's why day 33 comes first. You need to master the straight, logical flow of the river before you can start subverting it with contrast and surprise.
It makes sense why the course is structured this way. You can't learn to drift if you can't paddle straight.
Exactly.
Before we wrap up, I want to revisit a specific cultural point in the text. We mentioned momos and Shimla. This course is clearly grounded in an Indian context.
It is, and I think that's valuable. It creates a specific sense of place. But what's so amazing is how the logic transcends the location. It doesn't matter if it's momos in Shimla or tacos in Mexico City or burgers in Chicago. The underlying logic of it is cheap, so I bought it, is a human universal.
Math is universal, and these connectors are basically mathematical operators for language.
Say more about that.
Well, because is like an equal sign.
Yeah.
It explains why one thing is the same as or due to another.
Okay, I see that.
So it's like an arrow pointing forward. This results in that.
And therefore is like the QED at the end of a mathematical proof.
Yes. Thus, it has been demonstrated.
If you think of sentences as equations, these words are the plus, minus, and equal signs. Without them, you just have a jumble of numbers, a pile of stones.
We keep coming back to that image. Order versus disorder. Day 33 is the day you learn how to create order from the chaos of your vocabulary.
And order brings confidence. When you know your sentence has a clear beginning, a middle which is the connector, and an end, you aren't afraid to start speaking. You know you have a map to get you to the destination.
So many learners are afraid to start a long sentence because they don't know where it's going to go. They're worried they'll get lost.
But if you have so in your back pocket,
It's a safety net.
if you get stuck, you just say so and pivot to the result. It saves you. It's a lifeline.
So, if you are listening to this deep dive and you feel like your English is a bit stony, a bit choppy, take heart. You don't need to go out and memorize the entire dictionary.
Not all.
You just need to master these 3 words.
Master these 3. I'd even say overuse them for a while if you have to. Make every single sentence a because or so sentence until it becomes second nature, until it's an unconscious habit.
Fake it till you make it.
Practice it till you possess it.
Practice it till you possess it. I like that. Okay, let's do a final rapid fire round to prove we've mastered this.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a scenario. You give me the therefore version, the boss mode version.
I'm ready. Put me in the boardroom.
Yeah, okay. Scenario. The coffee machine is broken. The staff is grumpy.
The office coffee machine has experienced a critical malfunction. Therefore, team morale is currently operating at suboptimal levels.
Brilliant. You sound like you're about to fire me for being sad. Okay, next. Scenario. I forgot my umbrella. I am wet.
I neglected to secure the necessary weather protection apparatus. Therefore, I arrived at the engagement in a compromised, moisture-saturated state.
In a compromised state. I love it. One more. Scenario. We listened to this deep dive. We are smarter.
We engaged fully and critically with the deep dive content. Therefore, our understanding of logical connectors has been significantly and demonstrably improved.
I think we have proven the point. Therefore is a costume. It's a suit of armor.
Just use it wisely. Don't wear a suit of armor to a casual beach party.
We've covered the definitions, the examples, the nuances, the rhythm, the punctuation, the psychology, and the real dialogues. I think we've squeezed this lemon dry.
We have. But remember, the source material isn't just information, it's a call to action. Jays and Isha, the instructors, end the session by saying, "We're incredibly proud of you."
And that emotional support is part of the learning too, isn't it? Knowing that your consistency 33 days of just showing up is seen and recognized.
It validates the effort, which is so important when you're on a long journey.
So, to our listener, we are proud of you too. Taking the time to listen to 2 people geek out about the word therefore for an hour, that shows real dedication.
It shows you care about the craft of communication, and that, right there, is what sets you apart from the people who are just looking for shortcuts.
Okay, final thought for everyone to take away, the identity shift.
Let's hear it.
When you go out today, after this, I want you to just listen to other people. Listen to your boss in a meeting. Listen to the news report. Listen to your friends telling a story. Listen for the so. Listen for the because.
Once you tune your ear into the frequency of connectors, you can't unhear them. You will start to hear who is a river and who is a stone. You'll hear the hidden structure behind the words.
And once you can hear it, you can mimic it. And once you can mimic it, you can own it. You can choose to be a river. That's it for today's deep dive on day 33, from stones to rivers.
Great stuff.
We hope you feel connected, logical, and ready to flow. I'm your host.
And I'm your expert.
Sign it off. Keep linking those thoughts.